Hi everybody, welcome to today's tutorial. Now in this session we are going to learn how to use Microsoft Outlook Calendar to schedule meetings, to manage appointments, to coordinate attendees, to work across different time zones, and to organize a client's calendar professionally. Now, calendar management is one of the most common responsibilities assigned to either virtual assistants, executive assistants, administrative assistants, or operations support professionals. However, calendar management is not simply adding meetings to a calendar. A high-value virtual assistant must be able to schedule the meetings accurately, avoid calendar conflicts, coordinate different time zones, send professional meeting invitations, include all the necessary meeting information, manage recurring meetings, make calendar changes without causing conflict or confusion, protect the client's time, create adequate buffers between meetings, as well as communicate changes clearly. So by the end of this tutorial, you should be able to confidently schedule and manage meetings using Outlook Calendar, as well as providing a professional experience for your clients and their attendees. Now, before we even dive right into the task, as a virtual assistant, your client may give you access to their Outlook Calendar so that you can schedule and manage meetings on their behalf. So before making any changes, it's very important for you to always understand the level of permission you have. Your client may allow you to view when they are busy. They may allow you to view full meeting details. They may give you the permission to create or edit events. They may give you permission to respond to invitations or manage the entire calendar. So never assume you have permission to make changes. Ensure that you confirm the client's expectation and the calendar management rules first before you even handle anything or before you even go to the task that we're just about to do. So without wasting time, let's go into the action. Now let's begin by creating a new meeting. So you open your Microsoft Outlook and locate the navigation panel on the left-hand side. Now, depending on the Outlook version that you're using, you may see icon for mail, calendar, people, to-do, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So select the calendar icon. So there are two main ways to create a new event. You can select new event at the top of the calendar, or you can click directly on the date and the time when you want to schedule the meeting. Now for this tutorial, we are going to select new event and then click event. A new meeting window will open. So this is where you'll enter all the meeting information. So the first step is to add the meeting title. The title should clearly explain the purpose of the meeting. So for this, we can have I'm just using random examples, but ensure that the title helps the client and the attendees to understand the purpose of the meeting before even opening the invitation. Now, the next thing we need to do is add the people who are going to attend the meeting. So you come to invite attendees and you can add you can type their email address here. So you enter the email addresses in the attendee field. Outlook may suggest contacts based on the names and the email address that you type. Now, before sending the invitation, confirm that the email addresses are correct, that all required attendees have been included, optional attendees are added appropriately, and no unnecessary person has been invited. Next, you choose the correct meeting date. This is particularly important when scheduling meetings several weeks or months in advance. Now, do not rely only on statements such as next Friday. Ensure that you confirm the exact date. For this particular meeting, we can say this is going to be Friday, 31st July, 2026. Then we are required now next to select the meeting start time and the end time. Always confirm how long the meeting should take. A high-value virtual assistant protects the client time by allocating only the time required. When setting the time, carefully check whether the meeting is also scheduled for either AM or PM. Scheduling a meeting for 10 PM instead of 10 AM can create embarrassing and avoidable mistake. So for this, you can say this is going to be like an 1-hour meeting. So it can start at 1 AM and 1 PM and then go to 2 PM. Next, you're going to confirm the time zone. If the client or the attendees are in different countries, confirm the relevant time zone. Now, come to this icon and click time zone. Outlook allows you to select the time zone when creating the event, and this is a very good feature. For example, your client may be located in Nairobi while the attendee is in New York. So you need to confirm the client's current location, the attendee's location, whether daylight saving time applies, whether the client is traveling, and the time zone that should appear on the invitation. So scroll down and select the most relevant time zone. Next, you're going to add the meeting location. Now, if the meeting is physical, ensure that you enter the full location. Include details such as the building name, the office name, the street or the area, the floor, the room number, or the reception instructions. For example, you can have ABC Towers, 5th floor, conference room number 2 in Nairobi. For a virtual meeting, ensure that you add the correct meeting platform and the meeting link. Possible platforms include Microsoft Teams, Zoom, or Google Meet. Now, Outlook works closely with Microsoft Teams. When creating a new event, locate the Teams meeting option and ensure that this is turned on. Outlook will automatically generate a Microsoft Teams meeting link and add it to the invitation. So before sending the invitation, confirm that the Teams option is active and that the meeting link has been generated. Now, the meeting description is one of the most important parts of an invitation. Do not send an empty invitation containing only the date and the time. The meeting description should provide enough information for attendees to prepare. Now, a professional meeting invitation should include the purpose, like a short explanation of why the meeting is being held, the agenda, like the main topics that will be discussed, the preparation, so any documents, reports, or information attendees should review before the meeting. We can have like the contact information, meaning like the person attendees should contact if they experience any difficulties. So before sending an invitation, check the availability of the client or the attendees. Outlook normally provides a scheduling assistant or the availability view that will show you when the participants are free or busy. Like for these emails that we've added here, you can see that this invitee is available. Now, if the attendee's calendar information is unavailable or unknown, like for the other two, ensure that you contact them and request suitable time options. So I'm going to proceed and send or save this meeting. So I'm going to come here. I can as well as send now or save it as a draft. So just let's click and send. So you can see that the meeting is now available on my Outlook calendar. Now, sometimes an email conversation needs to be converted into a meeting. So on the new Outlook, you may be able to drag an email directly from your inbox and drop it onto the calendar. So let me go back to my email. So you can see that this is an email that needs to be converted into a meeting. So I can quickly drag the email and drop it on Microsoft Outlook calendar. Email that has like meeting details. Like, do you see this meeting here? So I'll quickly highlight this email, drag it and drop it on calendar. So you can see that Outlook will create a new event using the information from the email. So from there, you can come and just edit maybe the title and have it like that. Edit the location and you can turn the Teams meeting on. You can see it has like the meeting description here. So you can add like an agenda and then proceed to save. So if you come back to your calendar, you can see that the meeting has already been scheduled. So this feature is nice because it reduces copying and pasting and retyping. However, always review the event before sending it. Do not assume that everyone included in the email conversation should automatically be invited in the meeting. So come to the meeting, click the meeting, edit the meeting, and ensure that the details are okay. Anyone who is not supposed to be part of this meeting are not included. And you can also add like optional attendees, confirm all the necessary details. You can see the moment I turned on the Teams meeting, you can see that we already have like the link to the Microsoft Teams meeting. This is what I was talking about. You can see that Outlook has auto-generated the meeting link. We have the meeting ID and the passcode as well. And if someone opens the meeting, they can quickly click on join and it directs them now to the Microsoft Teams meeting. Now, as a virtual assistant, you may frequently support clients who work with international teams. So Outlook allows you to display like several time zones in one calendar view. So go to Outlook settings, click on settings, go to calendar and ensure that you are on the view mode. So scroll down until you're able to locate your current time zone. You can see this is now Nairobi. Now you can see that you have the option to add like multiple time zones. So you can add like London. You can add London. You can add, let's say, the client has a team in New York, and maybe they also have a team in Dubai. You see that? And then they maybe have another team in, let's say, Sydney, for example. Now you add the time zones that you need and give each time zone a clear label. So maybe the team in Nairobi is like the main team. So you add a label, and maybe the team in London is like the operations team. And then you can say maybe this is family. You can say this is like the board members. So what I'm doing is I'm simply adding labels, and then this can be the, maybe let's say, the marketing team. So ensure that you add the labels as well, and ensure that the option to show in calendar is on, and then you click save. So after you save, these time zones are going to appear next to your calendar when you're using like the supported calendar view. So let's see, do you see this? The time zones are going to appear here. You can see you have them marketing, you have the family, like the labels that you have created, and you can always edit these time zones. If maybe this team is no longer applicable to this client, you can always remove again and ensure you save. So this makes it easier to schedule international meetings without repeatedly calculating the time differences. So a high value virtual assistant should know the client's most frequently used time zones and add them to the calendar view in advance. Now, some meetings may happen regularly, like the weekly team meetings, the monthly client reviews, like the daily check-ins. So when creating the event, ensure that you locate the recurrence option. So let's go back to our event and then click edit. Then we go to the time and then pick on recurring. So you can choose whether the meeting is going to repeat like daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, or on selected events. So you can say maybe this is going to repeat twice. You can say this is going to maybe to repeat once a month. And then you can choose the end date. Maybe this is going to end, let's say, in December 31st, something like that. So when you're doing especially edits for any meeting, Outlook may ask whether you want to make changes to this event only, this and all the following events, all events in this series. So ensure that you choose carefully. This event only, use that option when you're changing one specific occurrence. This and all the following events, use that option when the meeting schedule or any changes is changing from a certain date onward. This entire series, you use that option when the change is going to apply to every meeting in the recurring series. So ensure that you have you take note of that. Let's say I have done the changes, like I've added new attendees, and then I'm going to click send. So Outlook normally asks who should receive the update. So ensure that you select the option that sends the notification only to the added or the removed attendees. So this prevents everyone else from receiving unnecessary notification when nothing has changed. So you can use all attendees if you have changes like in the meeting time, the meeting date, maybe the location, or maybe the agenda or the link, or maybe if the meeting is cancelled. A high value virtual assistant communicates changes clearly without overwhelming people with unnecessary information. Now, you may need to schedule another meeting with the same attendees or similar information. So what you can do, instead of creating a new meeting from scratch, you can duplicate the event. So Outlook will copy the existing meeting information. So right click on the meeting and then click duplicate the event. So from here, you can now change the date, the time, the title, or maybe the agenda, or maybe the meeting link. So it's like you don't need to create a new meeting from scratch, especially if the attendees are the same. Now we also have what we call categories, which helps to visualize and organize the calendar. So right click on the meeting, scroll down until you see categories. So you can create different categories for this meeting. So you can categorize the meeting maybe to, this can be client, and then maybe this, we can categorize this to internal or admin. So do you see this? It creates like different visuals for that particular meeting. You can say this is now finance. So each category can have a different color. So you may also rename the categories depending on the Outlook version, maybe the client needs as well. So click on that and then you can click manage categories and just edit this and edit the colors to your client's preference. Now, scheduling meetings back to back can leave the client with no time to take notes, no time to respond to messages, no time to take a break, or even travel between locations. So Outlook allows you to shorten meetings automatically and create buffer time. So how do we do that? Go to settings, click on calendar, and then go to events and invitation. Then locate the option to shorten durations for all events. So you may choose if you want to start the meetings late or to end the meetings early. Now let's say, for example, a 30-minute meeting could end after 25 minutes, creating like a 5 minutes buffer time. So because it's a short meeting, I would want to end it early and give myself like a buffer of 5 minutes. Now, a 1 hour meeting, being a long meeting, I can decide to end it after 50 minutes. So I still end it early and create like a 10 minutes buffer time. So the buffer is appropriate depending on the client's preferences. Buffer time is one of the simplest ways to protect a client from calendar overload. So scroll down and ensure that you save the changes. So how does a client share their calendar with a virtual assistant? They go to settings under calendar and then scroll down and click on shared calendar. So most of the time, maybe if you have multiple calendars, they're going to appear here. So they're going to click the calendar and then share the calendar. So they will insert like the virtual assistant email, and then they will have options. They'll give them options if they can view all details or if they can edit, and then they click share. Now, Outlook also allows users to personalize their application's appearance. So under settings, general settings, on appearance, you can choose a dark mode, or you can use the system's settings. You can also choose like different themes and different colors. So those are the basics of Microsoft Outlook Calendar. I hope you've learned something today. So I'm going to leave like a practical client scenario under the comment section. Check it out and practice again to improve and perfect your skills, especially when it comes to Microsoft Outlook. Outlook Calendar is a powerful tool, but the tool alone does not make someone an excellent calendar manager. A high-value virtual assistant combines technical knowledge with accuracy, communication, confidentiality, initiative, and good judgment. Your responsibility is not simply to put meetings in the calendar. Your responsibility is to create order, to protect the client's time, to reduce scheduling problems, to ensure that everyone attending the meeting has the correct information. So when calendar management is done properly, the client should feel confident that my schedule is organized, every meeting has a purpose, and everything has been handled. This is the kind of standard that you should aim as a professional virtual assistant. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notification button so that you don't miss on the next tutorial. And if you want to go deeper into virtual assistant learning and master these skills, please make sure that you check the description box. I'm going to leave details of our virtual assistant masterclass live. Join FlowMate community today, because our main goal is to ensure that all our virtual assistants are job ready and client ready. Thank you for joining. I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.